right where I left off. Hi guys, I'm Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very belated haul slash sharing with you all the books that I received for Christmas, or bookish things that I received for Christmas from my wonderful family and friends. So if you're interested to see what I got, then go ahead and keep on watching. We'll start with what's here on top, and this came from my lovely parents, and the first of these is a children's book called Madeline Finn and the Library Dog by Lisa Papp. This is a adorable story about a little girl who doesn't like to read because she's embarrassed to read out loud, and then she goes to the library and she gets to read to this dog named Madeline, or excuse me, not Madeline, the library dog, and it is the sweetest story. And keeping along the theme with dogs, because, well, I love them, is The 12 Dogs of Christmas by Allison Ritchie and Marissa Morea, and it's just this adorably illustrated book about the 12 Dogs of Christmas, and I couldn't be happier. Another book from my parents, and largely from my mom because she knows me oh so well, is Belle's Library, a collection of literary quotes and inspirational musings with a foreword by Linda Wolverton, and this is just a gorgeous little compilation of quotes and things that are all literary, and it has to do with Belle, and I'm always here for Beauty and the Beast. So excited to add this to my collection. And from my wonderful husband, keeping along with the Disney theme, he purchased for me the Villains books by Serena Valentino, which include Fairest of Them All, Poor Unfortunate Soul, and The Beast Within, which are all kind of retellings about the villains in these stories. And I am so excited to read these. These are YA books, and I really don't know a whole lot about them other than it's their side of the story, and these are the first 3 in the series and the 3 that are out at the moment, and I cannot wait to get to these. Now for the books that I got from my wonderful sister-in-law and her husband, the first of which is The Sun and Her Flowers by Ruby Kaur. This is her second book of poetry, and the most thoughtful gift. I am so excited about these. They bought me 6 vintage Puffin children's books that include The House at Pooh Corner by A.A. Milne. I might be saying that wrong. I really should do my research. The Chalet School in Exile by Eleanor M. Brent Dyer. The Adventurous Four by Grid Blyton, The Weird Stone of Brissingamen by Alan Garner, Watership Down by Richard Adams, and last but not least, The Rose and the Ring by W.M. Thackeray. I love these. These are beautiful. I love vintage books. I love old books. I love used books, and these are such a wonderful thing to add to my collection, and it was such a thoughtful gift, so I'm stoked about those. And keeping along with the books that my parents gave me for Christmas, and this isn't even the last of them because they just know me so well, they gave me a 3-month subscription to Page Habit, specifically the literary box, and I got my first box this month, and that included The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin, and this is a book about 4 siblings, I believe, who have their fortunes told of the day they will die or how they will die. I'm not totally sure on that front, but this is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. As you can see the glitter on it, and I'm really excited to read it. I don't know if I would have picked it up on my own, but I'm really excited now that I have it. And the last 2 books I got from my parents. The first is a book that I asked for. It is a nonfiction book, and that is Why Buddhism is True, The Science and Philosophy of Meditation and Enlightenment by Robert Wright. I have been really interested in meditation lately and Buddhism and all that encompasses and whatnot, and I'm really excited to read this book because I'm all about the science of why things seem to work so well, if that makes sense. And the last book that I received from my parents, I am so excited about. This is a book that I've read. I read it last year and absolutely loved it, and that is The Butcher's Hook by Janet Ellis. This book is amazing. Knocked me off my socks. Knocked me off my socks. I just made up a phrase. It knocked my socks off / knocked me off my feet. I love this book so much. I do have a review for that though, so I'll link that up there for you guys. But absolutely recommend if you haven't read this book. It's an awesome, creepy, weird book set in 18th century London, and I highly recommend. BookTube has meant many, many things to me, and especially now that I've been gone for a little while, I'm so excited to be back and really remember why I started this in the first place. And one of those was to make friends and get to know people, and Claire from Claire Reads Books, a friend of mine, was so very sweet to send me a book, and that is Animal Dreams by Barbara Kingsolver. This is a book about a woman who is kind of having a midlife crisis and goes back to her hometown, which is very steeped in the Apache ways, I believe. And I think a romance is involved, and there's also an environmental threat to this area. She highly recommends it, so I have no doubt that it's going to be amazing. And Claire also has great recommendations as far as books that involve nature and that environment, and so I'm stoked to read this book. Another book that was sent to me by a friend is Matthew from Matthew Sharapa, and he sent me Please Look After Mom by Keon Suk Shin, who is a favorite author of his. I believe this is a family story. I don't know a whole lot about it, but any book that Matthew says is good, I will pick up, no questions asked. And so I'm so thankful that he sent me this book, especially as this book is from one of his favorite authors that he discovered in 2017. So another book that I cannot wait to get to. There seems to be a trend. A book that I received from Aaron's cousin and his fiance is Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse, maybe. Hess, I'm sorry guys, I obviously didn't do my research. I'm out of practice, okay? And this is a book that takes place during World War II, where it's about a woman, or a young girl who, woman? I really should probably figure this stuff out before I start talking to you guys. I'm not sure. Well, she has a boyfriend, so a young woman living in Amsterdam is getting black market goods for people and trying to hide that from her parents. Her boyfriend had died in battle, and then she's asked to find a Jewish person and gets drawn into this web of mysteries and such. And you all know I love historical fiction. I've really been enjoying World War II fiction, especially last year, so absolutely excited to get into this book and absolutely adore this cover. And the last two books that I have to share with you, I received from Aaron's aunt and uncle, and those are the two of the Thursday Next novels by Jasper Fforde, the first of which is The Air Affair, and the second is Lost in a Good Book. And the whole premise of these books is it takes place in Great Britain in the 80s, in which you are able to enter books, and someone kidnaps Jane Eyre, so Thursday Next has to go make sure that nobody kills off Jane Eyre, because then the story would disappear. At least that's what I've heard about them. They come highly recommended from his aunt and uncle, and I'm really excited to read them, although I'm sure some of you might remember I've never read Jane Eyre, so I'll probably need to do that before I read this and have every intention to. But another couple set of books that I'm really stoked to get into, and mystery has been piquing my interest more so than normal lately, which is kind of odd for me, but I'm just gonna embrace it and roll with it. Now, onto the bookish goodies that I got. So these are all things that are inspired by books, but not books in of themselves. The first of which is this really cool looking wooden book that I received from Aaron's grandparents that is actually like a lamp. How cool is that? The lighting just got all weird, and you can close it and they change colors. Ooh, that looks terrible on screen. And this one probably is my favorite because it's just the yellow light and you can unfold it completely or like that, and it's just this really cool bookish type gift, and I'm really excited to have it. For my mother-in-law, I got a goodie box of a bunch of just awesome bookish things. The first of which is this really cool t-shirt that says Book Nerd that I literally wear all the time and absolutely love. The second of which is a pair of socks that I haven't worn yet, but really need to because I'm obsessed with them. And up here it says, books make me happy, but then on the feet it says, you not so much, and that is completely my sense of humor, so she knocked it out of the park on that one. And then a couple bookmarks, the first of which, my book club only reads wine labels. My mother-in-law and drink wine together, it's one of our things. And then Keep Calm and Read On, so excited to add these to the fridge. And then I got a couple print type things, the first of which was from my sister-in-law and her husband, and it is this lovely little quote that says, some books are so familiar that reading them is like being home again. And she specifically asked for Little Women, which is the page that is behind the quote, as she knows that I absolutely adore that book, and that book does make me feel like it's home again, or I am home again, excuse me. And the last thing that I have for you is a print that I received from my aunt and uncle and cousins, and it is this, and it says, "I love books. I love that moment when you open one and sink into it and can escape from the world, into a story that's way more interesting than yours will ever be. Elizabeth Scott." So I don't know where I'm going to be putting this in my book room, but you will, I'm sure, have a picture of it somewhere soon. Hopefully. There you have it, guys. A very belated Christmas book gift haul, bookish gifts, things. Can you tell I'm out of practice? I've missed you guys so much and so happy to be back. Hopefully I will be back up and running with my usual couple videos a week, but we'll see. I have a chatty video coming for you guys soon, just kind of saying hey and what's been up and blah blah blah, but this video is probably long already, even though I did have some bloopers, which I'm sure you'll be seeing as well. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you liked this video, please like it. If you loved it, please subscribe, and we'll see you in my next video. Happy reading.